Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. Alyssa here, just jumping in to tell you really quickly that I created a wish list on Macy's.com for you guys to shop all of my fashion, beauty, shoe, accessory picks. I really hand curated every single thing. So if you want to wear some of the outfits that I wear or just get some inspo for summer fashion, you could click the link in my bio and it will take you to my wish list where I hand selected and curated all of my favorite things just for you guys. And just so you know, Macy's is having their lowest prices of the season, April 9th to April 14th. And you could shop everything in store or online. I recommend you shop online so you could use my wish list and handpick everything. But there will be 20 to 75% off home and luggage, 40 to 60% off women's clothes, shoes, and handbags, and 50 to 60% off men's suits, shoes, ties, and more. So again, don't forget, it's always in the link in my bio on Instagram and TikTok and here on YouTube, and you could shop all of my picks. We are back in studio, back to recording. It is 10 a.m. and Lex already tried the pasta that I made this weekend.
It's so good. No, I'm sorry. First of all, like, I saw you were like, I made a video. I'm like, great, I'll wait for it. Then I saw the video and I was like, I commented. I'm like, this is what I'm having for breakfast. Like, it's my breakfast. It's my food now, too.
It's so good. So we'll get into that. We'll catch you guys up on what we've been up to this weekend. We're recording on a Sunday because this upcoming week we're both going to be out of town, which we'll touch on. And then we want to talk today about finding your purpose and feeling fulfilled. Again, one of those topics where we're still always working on and figuring out, but just wanted to talk about things that have worked for us. And then we'll spill tea.
And there's some, I haven't put it in the notes, but there's some good tea we can spill too.
Good. You're always like really caught up on the tea.
I know.
You're always
all I have.
So, okay. Tell me about your weekend and then let's talk about going out of town next weekend.
Oh my God. Okay. So my family came on Friday. It's been madness. Like, I'm gearing up after all of this conversation and talk with work. We're doing this huge activation at Coachella. That's next weekend. So my family came this week to help me. They're going to stay and watch the dog.
So nice.
My parents, but my sister came too because I haven't seen anybody since November because of the whole green card thing. So everybody came for the weekend. I leave Monday and then my parents will be here till the 25th because I'm gone until the 22nd.
Wow.
So it's been like, I'm so happy they're here. But I just said to you, I was like, it's like chaos. I'm not used to it in my space. Like my fridge, we went grocery shopping. Like my fridge is full. Normally my fridge is like 12 eggs, some cheese slices, and like apple cider vinegar and kombucha.
And it's just full.
So bad.
It
and now
sucks.
it's just like a full house. Everything is full. I like left this morning and my mom was like an OG woo-woo girl. She's like saging. Oh. My dad's like building the patio chairs that I got that you have.
Are those chairs amazing?
They're so cute. He just finished the first one before I left and I was like, this is amazing. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's so much happening in the household.
It's really nice though when you could like have people in your space though to do stuff. I was going to say while you're gone, are there like projects at the apartment that they can work on?
My mom was like, leave your dad projects.
Yeah.
He needs projects.
Yeah.
So that's why I left the chairs. I have a table for the patio too.
Perfect.
He comes in this morning, like he gets out of bed and he's like, do you have any like stuff? The door is creaking. I'm like, I don't have like, WD-40. I'm like, you could put some canola oil. I'm like, I got olive oil and canola oil. I don't have WD-40.
No, I'm a girl. I live with creaky doors. Sorry, Dad.
Like, I haven't even noticed that. That's not even a thing.
Like, we don't notice those things.
Not at all. Is my car light on? You could probably fix that too.
Oh my God. Talking of car lights.
What?
So I'm renting a car for this photo shoot that I'm doing. Stay tuned, guys. And the car rental place is like, send me your car insurance and your driver's license.
Yeah.
So I go to my glove box and I'm like trying to find my car insurance and like I can't find any information on it. And it was like that weird thing where this was my first time buying a car last year where when you buy a car, they were like, you need to leave the lot with insurance. Like, which, you don't know until you go do it, which obviously you know you need car insurance, but you don't realize like you have to get it at the place before you pull out of the lot.
And so I got it, and they gave me this number for like an insurance broker that like brokers insurance with different companies, whatever. I remember like a year ago being like, where did I even get this information from? Like, I'm like, some bank. I have because
So it's not like State Farm or anything like that?
No, it's like some weird niche California thing. So I remember emailing them, the broker, like a year ago, being like, I never got my insurance card in the mail. And I still never got it. But I was always getting charged for it, so I know I have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I'm going to look. I can't find my insurance card. And it looks like my registration's passed too. Thank God I looked. I've been driving around with an unregistered vehicle. Then
what year is your sticker?
Wait, then I find a thing from my 2003. That 2023. Then I find a thing and it says that my insurance was only 6-month insurance. So I'm like, has my car not been insured for a year and a half? I have a panic attack. I don't have the information because I can't find the card. I can't find it in my emails. Finally, I find a phone number of the broker and I text the guy and I'm like, do you have my information? Like, I don't even know who my car is insured through. I finally found it. Luckily, it auto-renewed. So my car has been insured.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but this is like something I've discovered with California that's so bizarre. Like, I've registered my vehicle every year.
Is this a California thing? Because I'm confused.
So, I mean, okay, so the registering your vehicle, like, I always, the last 2 years that I've had this car, I've always did that late because I've like been in Europe, it expired, I forgot about it, like then it's gone. I'm still driving around and I have purchased the insurance. I just haven't put on the sticker, but like my sticker says 2022. And I always wonder, and I'm like, I've never been like pulled over on this and it's fine because it's insured. I have the sticker, but I'm like,
a thing,
nobody cares.
No, because Lisa drove around with her car like unregistered for like 3 years, like not realizing like the registration was past due. And it's because in New Jersey, we get these stickers put on our car. It's a different process where you get the sticker put on your car and it lasts a few years and the sticker has the date and so it's different exactly here. Like so that's why I think we're thrown. But regardless to say, I have Sean, he has to check my car later because I'm like, I think my registration, that one I actually
is
think expired. The insurance, thank God I have. I was like, this is bad.
No, I know. And also, but the joke is like, never been pulled over. Just living your life.
Also, like, don't know what I'm doing fully. Like, who let me buy a car?
Girl, I know. My car is like, the lease is expiring and I'm like, I want to keep my car. Like I want to do like a finance to, or like transfer from a lease to finance to own or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know where to start.
I financed my car.
Call my car guy.
Yeah, I did. I like put down like a huge chunk of money and then I just pay like a little monthly fee. But then part of me sometimes is like, why don't I just buy this thing? Like, I'm like, all these things, I'm like, I can't keep track of all of these things. I wish I just owned it outright because I already want to get a new car. That's a whole other problem. Yeah, I'm so bad.
Oh my gosh. See, I want to keep my little car. I'm like, I love it with the lights inside.
Your car's so cute. Me and my friend, me and Raina, you know Raina.
Yeah.
We are this like same person, whereas we're really impulsive. Like last night or 2 days ago, she was like, I want to redecorate my apartment. And I'm like, what's the vibe? And she sent me like a picture and I'm like, hang tight. And I sent her an entire mood board. And she's like, yes. And then the next day she went to West Elm and bought all these things. And then
Is it for her whole house or for her room?
Just her bedroom.
Okay.
And then we sat down and she was like, we were getting our nails done together. And she was like, yeah, I'm kind of over my car. I'm like, no, I hate mine. And she's like, what? We're both the same way. We're so impulsive.
My gosh. I am the opposite. I'm like, wait, this car is serving me so well. I should keep it.
I don't know how I will decorate a home because I change everything. So I change my taste with the wind.
But also you do little projects, like even here in this new space, like you, like within like your first weekend of living here, you had like wallpapered your bedroom. And I'm like, I've been in my place for like 5 weeks and I'm like, what am I going to do in this place, like spot?
This week, like this month I changed out all my art and I'm just like, I get in these moods where I'm like, something serves me for a moment and then I'm over it.
Yeah.
So I feel like with my car, this is like a weird thing, but if any of you are looking to buy a car for the first time,
you're like, buy mine.
Take mine, please. I always like my dream car in life. Like growing up, I wanted a BMW X3. Like that was like the car that I wanted. The little truck. Like in high school, when I was trying to buy my first car, I test drove them delusional. I was never going to get a BMW X3 in high school, but like I was hopeful. Like that's what I loved.
That's the manifesting.
That's what I wanted my whole life. And then even living in the city, I was like, I want a BMW X3. So when I moved here, I was like, that's the car I want to get.
Yes.
Like, I've always wanted a BMW X3. I wound up getting an X1 because I just realized they kind of look the same, and like it's better to have a smaller car in LA.
I know. I prefer the little smaller I want an SUV, but I like when it's a little smaller.
Yeah, but now my issue is because I thought I always wanted that car, I never test drove other cars. And I wish that I had just test drove everything.
Yep.
Because then I would have known they were out of my budget and I couldn't do it, and I would feel really good about my choice. But because
Are you sure?
I know, but because I didn't see my options.
Yes.
Now I'm like, oh, but what else is out there?
Okay, but this is, can I say something controversial?
Yeah, say
You would test drive the car out of your budget and you'd be like, I'm going to find a way to make this work in my budget.
100%.
And you would get the more expensive car if
No, I
that's the
know.
one you like.
So I feel
and
like-
you'd make it work.
and
So
I-
it's not a knock on you.
No, I
But,
made the sensible decision by
yes,
getting my
you
car.
did. You did.
Because like for a BMW, like it actually was really, I have to say, it was like a really great price. Like it really was. And like I feel like people pay like for a Honda what I paid for my BMW. Like
Which
it
is
was like a
wild.
really great price because the X1's like I got it pre-owned.
Nice.
And like whatever. It was great. That said, I want a Land Rover.
I mean, you want to talk about dream cars? Like the Land Rover Defender.
No, that's what I want.
Is like, but like that's my problem. I want the like classic
No,
one.
same, the old one.
But my friend
Or the
he's
refurbished Broncos.
Yeah, I know. But they have so many problems. The parts are so expensive because they're so old.
They're too big for LA.
Yeah,
They're hard to get around.
It's not realistic, but damn, I love like a classic Defender. And like in my mind, I like have this whole aesthetic, this whole
No,
like
that's what I
outfit for
drive
my
in my-
Defender. I'm like off-roading somewhere. I don't know where.
No,
Like,
yeah.
and I look so chic in my Defender.
So I'm like on a safari in
Yes,
mine.
exactly. And it's like that forest green or hunter green. And I'm like, girl, shut up.
And I even like the newer ones that kind of look like the Range Rovers that are like black
Yes.
with the tan interior.
Yeah.
They're so expensive. This is my point,
I
though.
know.
I'm Delulu, but I'm fixating. I'm like, now I'm so
I know.
fixated
That's
that
the problem.
you'll
You're
see
going to
me-
get one.
Give me 3 years. I'll be in one.
I can't with you, but I 100% agree with you.
Okay, but I have a question because this is an interesting topic. That's how I manifest. Like,
Yes.
I like to be Delulu and talk about things that I don't yet have because, for example, I always wanted that BMW car. I got the car. I worked enough until I got it. I think manifesting is saying you want something, putting it out there, but then also working to make it happen.
Absolutely.
So for me, I am so Delulu with everything where I'll be like, oh my God, I can't wait until I have a pool in my backyard and a mountain view. And then people in my life will look at me like, bitch, what are you talking about? You live in an apartment. Like, you can't,
only a
you
matter
can't do
of
that.
time.
And I'm like, okay, just wait.
Watch me.
Yeah, like that's how I motivate myself. I like
Yes.
to talk in extremes.
You like to say things into existence or speak things into existence.
Yes, and it's because I really believe I'll make it happen.
It is true. Actually, you do say things with, I've noticed this about you. You say things with like an unabashed confidence and it's admirable. Like, it's like, I'll say things but I'm like, like whatever. But like you say things with like a definitive confidence and I'm just like, good for
But
you, girl.
I don't know what I'm really
But
that way though.
It happened. No, but that's the important thing. And that's like one of the key foundational elements of manifestation is like you have to truly believe it.
Yeah.
So it's like you do, and that's why things happen for you.
Yeah, and I've always said with like certainty, I'm like, yeah, I'll write a book.
Always.
Like,
yeah.
because I know I will. I can't explain it.
100%.
Like, I just like know I'm going to do certain things because
Same.
because if you say it and you believe it, you're going to do it.
Exactly.
Like, you can't just be like, I want to win the lottery and then never buy a ticket. Like, you have to work towards things. So for me, if I want that car, I will work. I will bust my ass and I'll get that
you'll
car.
get it. I can't wait to see you driving off the lot.
Wait,
But I believe you. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not even I believe you. Like, I believe it to be true. Like, it's going to happen. It's already happened.
do you speak that way about things?
I do. But what's so interesting is like, I think this is like such a like Virgo or like personal trait of mine where it's like, I almost sometimes have to like barter with myself and I'm like, you don't really think that's true. And it's like, well, just believe it's true and blah, blah, blah. And it's like that inner monologue is fucking insane.
No, I do that with certain things.
Yeah.
I do. Because as much as I'm like, on a micro level, I doubt things, but on a macro level, I believe.
Yeah.
So, like, I believe I'm going to have all these things, but then on a micro level, I'm like, but what if you don't get paid next month? But what if this deal falls through? But what, like, on the micro level, I'm very anxious.
Which is just normal, right? It's like totally human,
Yeah.
but it is like, I think a part of the manifestation and the part of the motivation is being able to pair those like negative self-talk or whatever with the positive ones.
Yeah.
And that continues to propel you forward. Like, I do think that's a big part of it. Like,
I feel like you probably need a little bit of negative self-talk in a healthy way
to build a sense of urgency.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, to give you that push. That
I agree.
I feel like that's how sometimes it's motivating to be like, or like let other people say about you, or things that you feel like your family thinks about you, even if they're not true. You know, we all take these things with us that we believe our family thinks about us. Like, I have this narrative in my head that's literally been dead for 15 years, but I'm like, no one thinks I'm smart. But because I was like an F student.
Yeah. But it's that inner child work.
But now they think I'm smart. But my point is, you
still have that in the back of your head, that voice.
So I'm like, okay, they'll see.
And it's like a little lower, but it's still there.
Yeah, so like that almost motivates me a little bit.
No, I get that. 100%.
It's like, oh, you don't think I could do this?
This is my problem, is like, I think I'm perfect. I'm like, no notes.
You're like, I really don't need to work on anything.
But like, even like last week, I'm like, why am I single? Like, I am a catch, you know? And I'm like, it's so great. But I believe that to be true. And I know we said, like, it's not me. It's like everybody else.
But
where
I
I
think
can settle.
that is a good confidence to have.
Yes.
Because I actually, like, I felt the same way. Like, this is like so crazy. And like, this is why I was just, my mom raised my sister and I with like so much confidence.
Same.
And like, I will always say, like, it was such a blessing, even though sometimes like it kind of got me in trouble, but it was really a blessing because I would go on dates with guys like in New York and they wouldn't call me back. And instead of me being like, what did I do? I'd be like, what's wrong, loser?
Like, what's wrong with this guy?
I'd be like, oh my God, he didn't even see what was in front of him. What a freak.
100%. I mean, it took me a while to get there. Yeah. But I think it was like, I had like a boyfriend cheat on me one time in my 20s. And I was like, okay, we're done here. Like, no.
It's like you kind of just reach a point where you're like, I know what I bring to the table. I know what I offer. I have a lot to give. And if you can't see that, it's your loss.
Yeah. It'll be with somebody else.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for
go
me.
cheat on someone else, you freak.
Oh, God. What a loser. Oh my God.
Okay, that was our big tangent, but I really actually enjoyed it because
me too. But I still need you to tell the people about the pasta. Tell us about your weekend.
So
please.
Okay, so Sean and I had a day yesterday. This is how dramatic we are. This is how you know you're old. At the end of the day, we were like, you would think we ran a marathon.
Like,
we were exhausted. We're exhausted.
What did you do? You just like ran errands?
No, so we woke up. We went to the farmer's market, bought all fresh ingredients, and we were like, let's cook dinner tonight. And I'd seen this recipe on TikTok from Wishbone Kitchen that I wanted to make. And we kind of just looked at the ingredient list and like bought everything without like looking at the prep.
Yep.
But whatever. We're both good cooks. We're like, we could do it. And then I was like, instead of using store-bought pasta, let's make the pasta. I've been wanting to try it.
Yes.
So we bought stuff to make pasta. We walked around the market. We walked all around the marina with Chai.
Oh my gosh.
Came home. Sean like did some studying. I went to CVS and bought like all this stuff for my trip next week. I went to the grocery store. I got everything to make dinner. The rest of the stuff that the farmer's market didn't have, like tomato paste. And then we came home, and then I had someone that works for me come here and we worked a little around the apartment. She mostly worked. And then Sean and I went and ran errands, and we went on a really cute date. He was like, do you want to mini golf? Because we were mini golfing like 2 weekends ago in Palm Springs.
Yeah, I remember.
We had so much fun. So that
was last weekend.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. We found this mini golf place. I think it was in like Sherman Oaks. It was kind of far.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cute, so fun. It was 18 holes. It was this huge course. There were so many people. We were playing with other people. We mini golfed. Then we went into batting cages.
Stop it.
It was the cutest date spot. I was like, this is a vibe.
Go.
There was an arcade. Like, we had the best time. Me in the batting cage. I have to post the footage. It's so funny. And then we drove 40 minutes home.
I know.
And then we cooked this 2-hour dinner, hand-rolled pasta. Like, it was just we were out from...
That's like a living. Like you were living. You were outside.
And we were like doing shit. It was fun. Like it was a fun like
Yes.
date day / just like productive day. And then we made this pasta. I posted it on my Instagram, but it's Wishbone Kitchen's recipe. And it was so fucking good. Handmade pasta, handmade tomato sauce. Like we were saying, like if we ever do a dinner party, this is what we need to cook because we think it will like blow people away.
Yes, it was spectacular. I have to say the flavors were immaculate. We also talked about like you guys are going to make bread later so that you can dip the sauce.
yeah.
I'm like, you should make the sauce and use it as like a fake shakshuka. Like so many use cases for the sauce.
We are in our Nara Smith era.
I know.
Like we both love to cook. Sean, like even before we met, has a history of making like sourdough. Like he makes bread. He loves to bake. He's just unbelievable cooking, and I really love to cook. Not as much bake. But I'm excited. I'm like, this is fun.
I can't wait. It's so and I mean, it turns out so great. And I know it's a commitment, but also making it like I love to bake and cook. You know that. Like it is like my self-care thing. It's very therapeutic.
I find it so relaxing.
Yes. It's like so nice. It forces me to slow down. I'm still using my brain, but I'm not like overwhelmed. Like you're following instructions.
Still multitasking.
Yes.
Like it's like keeping you sharp in a way.
Yeah. And then like you have, like you said, like you have like a little glass of wine while you're cooking. You play some music. Like it's nice.
My grandma's 96.
Oh
and
my gosh.
She always says like the reason she's still alive is because she never stopped doing things.
Yes.
Like she's still...
Well, you guys did things yesterday. That's for sure.
Yeah, we did. She still will cook, and it's harder for her now, obviously, but she's like, when I stop, I die. That's what she always says. She's like, I can't stop. You lose it. Use it or lose it.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah. She's like, it keeps me sharp. It keeps her mind sharp to cook and look at the recipes and to use her fine motor skills, like all of these little things.
Yeah. Aww,
I know.
Bubby.
I love her so much. But that was my weekend. You had your parents here.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's just all parents all the time. Like, I was like grocery shopping, stacking the fridge. Like I said, I left today. My mom's saging. My dad's building the stuff. Like, I know, like the original woo-woo girl.
May I say, though, how, like, lucky you are that your parents come here so often for someone that lives in a different country?
I know. And my parents are older, so, like, it's a commitment for them. But I love that they come here. And I love spending time with my parents and my family. So it's not, like, anything like that. I think the thing that is making me more overwhelmed this time is, like, I have somewhere that I have to go and be. So, like, I've still been working all weekend for all those last-minute details. But it's, like, once I pack today, like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then I'm off tomorrow. I'll be gone for a week. Then I'm back for a couple days. Then I'm off again. And then I'll be back. And then it's over. I will say, I'm holding you to this now before you go. And I know it's like going to be a tight window.
We only overlap for like 4 days.
I know, but like we need to have like a little girls' night. No, please.
100%. I kind of want to plan like a going away dinner or something.
Maybe like that Wednesday or something.
We'll have to text about dates and figure everything out. But I leave for Hawaii on Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm in Hawaii for like a week. I have someone house sitting, staying with Chai. And I'm just so excited for this trip. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. I've never been.
Oh, you're going to love it.
I'm going to absolutely love it. The thing is, like, it's coming at a time where I come back and then I have like 2 weeks until I leave for good.
I know.
So I'm just like in this phase of tying up loose ends. Like I even keep texting you random things. I'm like, I got the cord for the podcast equipment. I have a list of like, what do I have to put in my car to ship? What do I have to pack? What do I have to like leave with people?
And you're kind of just like, you have to do things like when you have the thought, you're like, send it, do it, write it down, whatever, so that it's just done.
Just have it. Like I
because there's so many little things.
Like drop off the mic, like little things where I'm just like, I'm gonna be busy. I also have like a photo shoot from now and then. I have all these things
between now and when you go.
Oh no, when I come, between after Hawaii before I leave, I'm doing a whole photo shoot for a project that I have coming up. And then I have a whole project. Oh, it's a thing. But you know what? I feel really good. I like being busy. I could handle it all.
Yes.
It'll get done.
It's all good. And Hawaii's going to be amazing. I actually, because I can't leave the country because of all of my visas and whatever.
Oh, that's a good place to go.
I'm going to go. So when I get back, I'm going to be here for the week that we overlap.
Yeah.
Then I was supposed to go back to Toronto, but I'm going to take like 2 weeks off work.
Wait,
so I'll be here for a week and then I'm going to go to Hawaii for a week. And I'm so
Are you going with friends?
Excited. No. So this is the thing, Alyssa. I like need some time.
Yeah.
And so what I was going to do was like, I'm going to book something. I have to find somebody to watch Choco too. But like, I'm booking this trip and like, I will just be like, hey, I'm going here at this time. But like, I just kind of want to go alone. I kind of love read that. And relax. I'm only going for 5 days. I'm not going for like a full week. So I just need a minute. I'm so tired.
You need a minute.
Like my family, they saw me when they got here on Friday. They're like, you've like lost weight. Like you have dark circles under your eyes. Like you look like a Victorian child. Let's get you some sustenance and some vitamin D.
Wow. You need it. You really need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. You need that mental reset.
100%.
I kind of feel like I need that too after how busy this like beginning of the year has been. But I also like girl bossed a little too close to the sun because I'm going to Hawaii. I come back, I move to New Jersey, and then I go away a week later. I'm going to St. Martin.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, all good things. You're in your vacation
2 trips
era.
for me.
I can't believe it.
They just so happen to be back to back.
I can't believe it. But that's crazy.
I'm really excited. But let's talk about...
Okay, I put this industry news here.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like there's like other... We could skip it.
We could skip industry news. Yeah. It's okay. I just kept it from last week because we didn't talk about it last week either. But I think we should discuss today's topic, which is finding your purpose and feeling fulfilled. And I think that work is so closely related to people thinking about their purpose because you hear a lot of people say like, well, what am I doing all day? Like it's not helping anyone. Yes. And I want to talk about one, like how work plays into that, and then 2, finding other ways outside of work to feel like fulfilled.
Yes, I think that that's really important. Like, I forget what the statistic is, but it's like you spend X amount of your life working, make sure you choose, you know, something you enjoy or something you love. So I definitely think that that's like an important thing. But to our point, like our conversation earlier of like manifesting and speaking things into existence, like that's also a part of it. It's like, I always go back to, I was working at Amazon and I was like really struggling with it. And I was like not having a good time. So I ended up quitting. And it was such a conflict at the time of where I was in my career because I was like, you're like, you know, you like have the dream job. You work at Amazon, like whatever. And it's like, I was so unhappy.
Yeah.
And it was not what I wanted to be doing at all. And it was a luxury that I could like quit and afford to take 8 months off and figure out what I want to do, yada, yada. But like, I'm so glad I made that choice for myself because now I do something that I love, that I find, I know I talked about how busy I am, but like I do genuinely find balance with. And if I had never at that intersection of my life decided to like choose me
and like
and work at it, to our point, like believe it would happen and work at it, I would never feel like I wouldn't be sitting here. So I think so it's true. Such an, like, I just wanted to start with saying like, in speaking to this topic, like choose yourself, like be selfish in the thing of like, I'm going to spend the time to figure out what it is that fuels me. It's so important.
Yeah, 100%. And I always say, I think there's 2 types of jobs that you could have. You could have a job. Well, there's multiple types of jobs, but there's 2 types of jobs that could be fulfilling in different ways. You could have a job that allows amazing work-life balance, pays well, is steady, but maybe you don't love the work you're doing, but you feel a sense of security with it.
And it maybe offers you space to do other things.
Other passions. Or there's the job where what you're working on is your passion and that fuels you and that ignites you. And I think both of those options are okay to have because the one leaves space for your passions and the one is your passion. What's not good is when you're in a position that it's bogging you down, it's falling into your personal life, and it's all consuming because we've all been there with a job.
Yeah.
So I think one of the first 2 is like a great way to start in like balancing purpose with security and intention.
Yep. No,
You know?
it's true. Of course. And like, I think that you're right. I think that is a part of it too, is just like being very honest with yourself with what you want. I remember so many people were like, oh, well, why don't you do, you know, the influencer route? Like you could do it full time and all of that. And I was like, a part of what I really enjoy at work is the working with people aspect. And I like leading people and leading projects and helping other people get to, you know, their next level. So that is something that is important to me in my work. And I can do that as, you know, an influencer or entrepreneur, but I like that dynamic of going into an office and that sort of thing. So I understand that about myself, but like, it's not for everybody. I totally get that.
Oh my gosh. And I always say that because I think in the world of social media, so many people are preaching work for yourself, be an entrepreneur. I don't think that is right for every personality type. I think, like, I always have this conversation with my sister because we are from the same parents, same upbringing, but we are very different personality types. Like, she likes structure. She likes likes a boss that's like, do XYZ, it gets you these results. And then she'll be like, thank you, I like those orders because I could process that and I could do it and then I could perform well.
Yes.
Whereas I'm like, don't put me in a box, bitch. Like, I'm
going to figure it out for myself.
I'm like, you tell me what to do. I know better than you. Like, I can't work in that environment where, like, I need to work for myself because I need to be able to call my own shots. I thrive in an unstructured
environment.
Like,
yeah,
it's hectic. It's tough at times, but like, I think I'm innately like born to do that. Also a Capricorn. But I think that, like, someone like her, I don't think that this instability, is that a word? Instability.
Yeah.
I don't think the instability of entrepreneurship I think it would make her sick to her stomach.
Exactly. Like, some people won't thrive in that environment, but they'll thrive in another and vice versa.
Yeah. Whereas 100%. I would never thrive in her environment.
Yes. Like, you'd feel like suffocated and stifled and probably like resentful.
No, and I would make so many typos and I would have so many Excel errors. Like, I just it couldn't be me.
It could never be me.
And I think you have to realize your personality trait. And I feel like I hear so many entrepreneurs and businessmen and businesswomen get on these podcasts, mostly men. I feel like women don't preach this as much, but all like the men of the world are like, go out there and get it, start your business. And I'm like,
I love your man voice. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's really good.
It's not for everyone. Like, I think know your lane, know what you're good at, know your strengths, know what's going to bring you happiness at the end of the day.
Yes. And like, I think a part of it is like, we talk so much. Like, you gave me that wonderful gift last week about how we like to write things down and like, you know, be in our feels. Like, I could not recommend that for people enough because I think that a lot of that allows you to learn about who you are, like learn to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And that will naturally help you evolve into like, what do I like? Like, where do I find I get excited spending my energy or time? Can that translate into something work related? Can it translate into a hobby that really brings me joy? You know? And I think that like, that is a really big tip of finding your purpose is like spending that time on yourself, like being honest with yourself and learning to be will help you build that. I don't know if you ever heard of the book, The Artist's Way.
I've heard of it. I'm not familiar with it, though.
They talk about these things where it's like you write 3 morning pages and every week you go on like a date with yourself. Like, even if you don't read the whole book or do the 12-week course, like try doing the morning pages for like 2 weeks or commit to going on like a date with yourself, even if it's just going for an hour walk, you know? But like, I think that those are little things, like spending time with yourself. As I've gotten older, I realized is like such a luxury to be able to know and like know who you are and be happy with yourself. And it allows you to like be happy and like fulfilled for other people.
100%. And I think that like my reflective years, because I feel like during like COVID, that was my most reflective time of my entire life.
I know.
I was like so in touch with my spirituality. I was journaling. I think we were all, first of all, I was probably in a personal low place, but the world was in the lowest place. It was honestly PTSD looking back, like crazy.
Crazy to think about. I just
was like living in the city and I was like so alone, so isolated, no human connection. And I was so reflective during those years. I was in therapy after that for 2.5 years. And like, I'm not currently in therapy because I do, for me personally, go in waves of like when I'd like to come in and come out. Yeah. I did 2 years steady and then I was like, okay, I gotta take a break, which I actually think was a really good choice for myself personally. But I feel like because I did all of that reflecting, it took years of like me not feeling fulfilled to work on myself, to rebuild that confidence, to now I feel very fulfilled with where I'm at in life.
Yes.
And I think it's because I put in like tough work. Like really looking at myself.
Yes.
And being honest with myself. and it's crying.
Like, that's the thing. It is like, it's tough work. I genuinely believe that is why a lot of people don't do it.
I was just gonna say that's why people are scared of therapy. They don't want to open Pandora's box.
Exactly. And they don't want to like put the mirror up to themselves and say, I am going to acknowledge this, but also I'm going to deal with the consequences of that action.
I've actually heard that recently. I hear that from people in my personal life who admit that. They're like, I don't want to go there. Yeah. And then also, like, I was listening to a podcast the other day and I heard this girl be like, I feel like I'm coping with my traumas okay. I don't want to open the box.
Yeah.
And like, I get it. I get why people feel that way. I've felt that way before, even with like seeking out like that psychic that I wanted to go see. I'm like, do I want to go there? Like, even though I want to, do I?
Yeah.
It's like, I get that. I get that way still to this day. But what I can say is that on the end of like all that hurt, you will find a lot of like purpose. Mm-hmm. And I learned, one thing I learned through therapy that I think changed my life was how much integrity means to me. Because I'm trying to think how to word this. So
yeah,
it's
of course.
like,
take your time.
When I took my last job, I had a really big internal conflict with being like, does this job match with where my integrity lies?
Yep.
And then the other side of that was like, but I can make it purposeful. Could I make an impact to make it align with my integrity? And I went in being like, I don't fit within what I believe this place to be, but I could, in my own way, maybe make a little bit of change.
Yeah, like you're like, I don't reflect, or I might not think I reflect like what this place is, but can I add a reflection of who I am in this place?
Exactly.
Right?
And I went in there and I was very, very adamant on, I will not compromise my integrity for likes and clicks and views. Mm-hmm. I will not. Because I could have gone in and been super controversial and I would have got hate clicks. They would have been hate clicks, but 100%. They would have been clicks.
Yes.
And I did not want to do that. And I learned through therapy, because I would sit down every week and I would say, like, other people are growing faster than me. People are doing this. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because they're talking about these things or doing X, Y, Z. And my therapist was like, well, and why aren't you doing those things? And I'm like, because I can't put my head on my pillow at night. My parents see these things. My friends see these things. My cousins,
yes.
It doesn't align with me. And like, that's where I would always like, that's what I learned about myself, that I have to make choices that like align with my integrity. Because when I'm operating out of my integrity is when I feel a lack of like control and I feel like I'm being someone I'm not.
Yeah. And it's that weird little like anxious feeling that you feel internally and like you just feel so off energetically. And like, I understand that so much, though I guest on a lot of people's podcasts really specific to pop culture. And the thing that people always bring up is like, I'm not snarky. I won't snark.
Exactly.
I don't like run my mouth. You know what I mean? I'll speak to face value of the information we've received. I'll give an opinion. I might like ideate. But
integrity in pop culture is another big thing.
It's a huge one. And everybody is always like, if you snarked, you could build a following so much faster. Yep. And it's like, that's not what I'm about.
But like, I wouldn't feel good doing that. And during that time, there were times that I acted out of my integrity, because I remember like looking at like the Call Her Daddy model, like when Alex and Sophia in the beginning would like shit talk people and not give a fuck, and they were so unapologetic. I would sometimes be like, I can kind of shit talk. I have this machine behind me that's going to have my back.
Yeah.
And there would be like very few times where I would like run my mouth. Very few, because I really don't like to. And I can name those 5 times on my hand because I'm sick over all of them. Even though I meant what I said, like, it does not feel good for me.
It just never sits right with you.
And even in the moment, if everyone's championing me, I still do not feel good. That is out of my integrity. Mm-hmm. Like, I do not like it.
And now you know that about yourself.
And I know it. And now I'm like, I could clock. And like, I think you feel like back to being fulfilled when you know, like, I've been able to identify that one thing makes me feel this way.
Yeah.
So I don't act that way. And like, I think you feel fulfilled when you know what in you makes you feel best.
Yes.
How you function the best.
Yeah. And a part of that, like, what I will also say, going back to the therapy piece, and I think like this is what you're saying too, is that I know a lot of people are afraid to face that and do the work, and it's hard work. But I think you and I was actually saying this at dinner with my parents yesterday. Like, I think I project a lot of this onto my friends and people in my life that haven't done the work. Is like, I get so frustrated with them that I'm like, I can't like give you advice anymore because you're not taking it. But I'm like, I wish that people would just take it, because I know that on the other side of all of that is like all of this goodness and all of this, you know, great, like there's something amazing and incredible on the other side of doing that work. And it's unbelievable.
It's interesting that you said that, though.
Why?
Because there is a part of therapy where you start to believe that you know better than everyone, because, and I felt this, there is a part where you're doing all this work on yourself, and all these doors are opening, and you're seeing things that you've never seen before, and you are so like, it's like the glasses,
the rose-colored glasses
are
have
off,
lifted.
and all of a sudden you're like, I did this because of this, and that person's projecting, and this person's doing that, and that person's insecure.
I know, it's like you can't shut it off.
And
you're like, stop it.
And
you
when
notice
people
everything.
around you haven't done the work and they don't see it, there is a sense of like, I'm operating on my vibrations are here and their vibrations are here, and I know I'm a little more enlightened than them. Like, there is a sense that comes with it. And like, I've seen it happen to friends that have gone through therapy. I know I've felt that way. Like, I'll be in an argument with like my mom, and I'll be like, well, like, she doesn't know that she's projecting. Because you think you know more.
Yeah.
But it's important, because like, I'm warning you guys, like, if you haven't done therapy and you're going to go through it, you will feel this way. Like, you get on this high horse a little bit.
And you have to remind yourself, like, you know, it's like, even though I feel that way, like, let me come back to this situation and recognize it at face value for what it is. Like, you can't just put therapy speak on everybody else.
And let me remember that 6 months ago, I was that person. Like, you can't expect people to meet you where you are.
Yes. You have to decide if you're willing to meet them where they are and if that's okay for you.
Yeah. I feel like that was a TED Talk.
I know. But thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
But it is
our tea
true.
Talk.
Yeah, it's our tea talk. Oh, great. But I do feel...
There you go.
Like,
business idea.
But I do feel like that is a true thing where you do get like
You're
an
so
air.
right.
You know, I felt it.
I know exactly what you mean.
And you're like, oh, they're so below me, because in your head you're like, they are so
and there's
not
like
self-aware.
a phase where they're so not self-aware, and it makes it like you feel, you're like, it's so hard to have a conversation with this person.
And you
like,
almost
they
feel
just
like you
don't
can't be
get
friends
it.
with people that haven't worked on themselves, because they feel so...
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting, but it's then, now that I have been out of therapy for a while, I could step back and be like, all right, you pompous ass. Like,
exactly. And so my therapist was like, you're done. Like, you've graduated from this phase of therapy. She's like, stop. She actually was like, you don't need, like, continue using these tools, blah, blah. Like, you're good. You don't need weekly therapy sessions right now. And you're right. Coming out of therapy, it really allowed, I felt like it was almost like an element of all consuming. Like, I was also consuming all of that like therapy content on
my God.
Instagram and TikTok and everything. Like,
do you know, I feel like my life changed when I stopped going to therapy
and stop consuming that content.
Do you know why? Because I did all of the work with her for 2 years. And then I was getting to a point where I was sitting down week after week, having the same conversations, looking for, what am I going to talk about this week? And then I hit a point where I realized I'm using therapy as a crutch to be like, but I still need to work on these things instead of just working on them.
Correct.
And when I got rid of her, I started working on the things.
I know.
Because I was like, I felt like I was going in there every week, just like it was a crutch.
It's like riding a bike with training wheels and just taking the training wheels off and being like, I got this.
Because I could ride the fucking bike.
I think the other piece, and again, it comes to like the finding your passion, is like trusting yourself without the training wheels. Like, it's so easy to be like, I'm in therapy, I go every week, but it's like, but are you practicing what you're preaching or being preached? Like, go out and try to live. And that's where I realized I wasn't doing when I got out of therapy. I was spending so much time overthinking about all of the issues I was addressing in therapy instead of going out and trying to move past
and living them.
And living, like, trying to say, okay, I'm going to live my life, and when certain things trigger me or I notice or whatever, I'm going to put those tools into practice. I was just like letting the thought of needing to practice consume me.
Wait, same. I feel like this isn't talked about enough. Like,
It's not.
Because it's like kind of controversial to be like, oh, when I left therapy, I got better. But I think I think the work that you do in therapy is crucial to get to that point. But for me, I was going into therapy every week being like, I feel insecure. I was always such a confident person and now I'm not confident. And every week I'd be like, I'm not confident. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? And then all of a sudden one day I was like, I'm going to Ibiza and I'm going to be so confident. I put it into practice. I got rid of her. I was like, I'm going to be confident. Like, stop bitching about not being confident.
And that's
be
the
confident.
thing. It's just like you sit in that like feeling. And I know that's a good thing and it's a part of it, but it's like I have a thing now that I say to myself where it's like I do have a tendency to overthink. It's like a huge personality trait for me. And I'm just like, it's not that deep. And I'm like, get over it, bitch. Like, stop worrying about it.
Yeah,
like you can't, like, I don't want to sit here in my feelings all the time.
And like ruminate.
It's not that deep. Move on.
Yeah.
And not just work things, it's relationships, especially. Like we talked about this last week. Like, and we talked, like, if somebody's not texting me back, whatever. Like, go out and do something in your life. Go talk to somebody new. Go on an app. Like, or just like spend time by yourself. Like, it's not that deep.
Yeah, it's
seriously
really not. And it's like, it kind of goes back to the whole, like, if someone doesn't want to be friends with me or if someone doesn't want to date me, like, then I don't want to date them. I don't want to be friends with them. It's a two-way street here. Like, this isn't just like on your terms. I think it's so important. It's so interesting to me you feel the same way because
I know. And we've never talked about this before, like between each other ever.
Because I really feel like it changed a lot of things for me. And I think like the things that we're talking about today are like just getting to, I think about being fulfilled, it's really just about getting to know yourself and knowing what makes you feel good.
And you know, the other piece that I'll say with this topic is like, just try. Everybody, I've had so many people, I'm sure you have too. They're like, can I pick your brain? Can I take you for a cup of coffee? I'm thinking about this. I want to understand social media for my business. They think they need to do all of this planning and preparation before doing the thing.
Don't get me started.
That's truly what we are saying. Like, it's a parallel thing of what we're saying about like being in therapy. It's like, you think you need to do all this preparation before being healed and going out and living your life. Like, it's like, you just have to try. Just go out and live your life. Go out and try
Post the video.
Do the thing. Fail, guess what? Your life will go on. You will be okay. You will get back up on your 2 feet and you will proceed to continue to exist. And just try the thing.
And all of my failures have led to my biggest successes.
Correct.
Yeah. Everything. Like even launching this tea business, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to do well, but again, I just believed. I'm like, I'm launching a product. Everyone's like, what? I'm like, yeah, no, look, here's the packaging. Here's the this. And I'm just like, we'll see. I think it's going to be really big one day. I really believe that.
Yes.
I'm like, I will try. If it fails, who cares? It fails. I tried. I did something.
Yes.
I made it happen. Who could say that they do that? Who could say they have an idea and make a physical product? Like, it's very hard to do.
And that's also a part of learning. And you're like, maybe it's not the tea thing, but I could take all of those lessons and values and put it into another business idea.
I know how to do a million things because of it now.
Yes.
And like, I feel like it's just taking things and trying and having confidence. And I think when I think about being fulfilled, and I think I feel really fulfilled right now, it's because of a big sense of it is balance. I love what I do for work. I am in a good relationship. I love my family. I have such great community of friends like that. They are family here, like especially living across the country. Like my friends here are such a big community. Like I really like the life I've built in LA. It's been a year and I feel like I have such great friends. And then I know I have like my childhood friends and I have my college friends, and I feel like the people that I'm working with, I really like even like the people that I hire when I do these photo shoots and stuff. Like my videographer is a guy that I went to high school with. I'm like, let's work together. My photographer, someone that I've worked with for 6 years. Like I've just built this community, and I think that makes me feel really fulfilled when I could help people around me and then also introduce them all. Yeah. Like I feel most fulfilled when I throw my events and people make friends. And I'm not the biggest influencer in the world. I don't have the biggest following. Right. But I have these events, people show up, they meet friends, and like that's enough for me.
And they're building connection, and it's all through your community and what your community represents, because people are attracted to the fact that you have the integrity. They feel comfortable and safe coming to one of your events because they know you are all about community. You're all about like confidence in yourself and loving yourself, and they know they will find like-minded people when they come to those things.
It is interesting the crowds that like podcasts or communities attract because they are like-minded people.
100%.
And I feel like that's why people are able to make friends, and that's why we
Remember we talked? Yes. Going to like live shows for podcasts are a great way to make friends as adults.
Because it's just the best way to like connect with like-minded people, and that's what gives me purpose. Like, am I doing groundbreaking work? And I'm not saving the planet. I'm not.
Okay, Greta.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, what am I really doing? I'm not operating over here. But the one thing that makes me feel fulfilled is like if one friendship came out of anything I do, that's enough for me. Like, that makes me feel fulfilled. I really, really, really like connecting people.
Yes.
And I've noticed that that's my purpose. So that's why like I will continue to throw events and do these things. And like, you wouldn't necessarily think like 6 years ago, 8 years ago when I started this, that like, oh, I'm going to start a blog and like I'm going to bring people together. But that's what I've found my purpose to be.
Yes.
And so you can get there some way.
Exactly. And I was also saying this to my parents because we were, just talking, catching up, reflecting on life and work. And I was like, my path has not been linear, but oh my God, I feel like I've learned so much. I've never felt like more in love with myself and like who I am and what I represent and reflect. To your point, I feel like as busy as I am, I can make and hold space for my friends and my family and my people. I feel also very understanding of saying like, this is how much space I can hold at this time and being comfortable with that instead of feeling guilty. Like, I've really put into practice wanting to show up as the best version of myself for myself and other people. And I think it's reflecting in like what I put out into the world.
Do you know I could cry?
Stop.
Because I feel like that's why you'll
You're
welcome.
tearing up.
No, I know. Because I feel like
cry.
when you're in that place, that's like when you'll let love in.
Yes.
So I'm happy
Stop.
you feel.
I can't look at you.
I'm happy you feel that way because. No, why am I sobbing? Because like it's beautiful that you feel that way.
I know. I mean, it's a nice feeling.
Sobbing.
Stop.
I know, we're both criers too. But I think like that's when you let love in, and that's when you like find what you want back to the beginning because you've done the work to get there.
I agree. And that's the thing. I think kind of to tie it all up, it's like I'm so happy I chose me, and I'm so proud of myself. And I think like if we can leave anybody about finding your purpose, it's just like choose yourself and try. Like it's so worth it.
Bet
it's
on
so
yourself.
worth it. Bet on yourself.
Yeah, because I just think that like that's how you're able to get on the other side of things. And also, I hate to say this, but like, we have these timelines for ourselves. Like, I want to be married at 26 with 2 kids. But what I was going to say is when it all works out, the process makes so much sense.
I know. Isn't that the most annoying part of it all?
Because you're like, oh my God, I went through all of that. I don't think I would have been a good partner if I hadn't done all of that work on myself. Like, I really think, like, everything leads you to where you're supposed to be because you'll be the best version of yourself.
Agreed. And you know how to deal with yourself when things, because like, listen, you and Sean, for example, I'm just like making it like, everything's really good. Like, I always say this to people. I'm like, it's not the person you're with when things are fine. It's the person that you're with when things are hard. But
and the way we work through even miscommunications.
Yes. Like, that is what a relationship makes, you know?
And he's so self-reflective. Like, it's really incredible. And, like, I always had on my, like, lists of, like, what I wanted in a partner, someone that was, like, empathetic and self-reflective. And he's very good at that. Like, if he does something and I'm like, you hurt my feelings, he'll process it. And then he'll come back and be like, I'm so sorry. I see how that hurt your feelings. Like this. And we're able to talk through it. So nothing's ever going to turn into like a screaming sleep on the couch type of fight because we are both just in a space where we could look at things maturely and be like, oh, that hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. And then the thing that's also really mature is he won't do it again.
Exactly.
And that's crazy.
Which is wild. It's like, wait, I actually am going to process this information and not repeat the mistake.
Yeah, because nothing's worse than someone that's like, sorry, and then they keep doing the same thing over and over again.
That's insanity.
So it's like you welcome in someone into your life who's able to meet you where you're at.
Yes.
And I think that that's really good.
I agree.
I'm really
it.
happy for this. I think this is going to be your year.
Oh my gosh.
No, I
Alyssa.
just feel good things. Like, I feel like you're really busy with work.
I know.
In a good way, though. Like, I feel like you're going to hopefully get your green card. Like, I feel
know.
like things are moving to like coming to like
a
an
good
apex.
place.
Yeah.
Wait, can I read you the sweetest text that my coworker sent me before we finish? She wrote me on Friday, like this was after work, and you've heard how much I've been working. And she's like, "Hi, I just wanted to reach out to tell you how much I appreciate working with you and how much you're killing it. Don't know how you do it all. Hope you take 2 weeks of vacay after this."
You're like, I am.
I know. I'm like, I will.
Wait.
She's like, "This is your Super Bowl and you're winning."
Oh my
so
God.
sweet.
It's beautiful.
I was like, that's what makes me want to show up at work. Not like the work, not the grind. It's like people feel good about working with me. Like, that's what's nice.
Also, it's like back to what we were talking about when we were talking about those bad bosses. Like, that's a good coworker.
Yes.
Like, those are the kind of people that you want to surround yourself around. Like, people that actually like value you.
Yes.
Like,
agreed.
that's very validating
And
to
I'm
hear
very
that.
lucky that I have people that I work with. Like, everybody that I work with is like that.
And that see you. Because
Yes.
that's really rare.
I agree.
You know, how much-
That's so nice.
So
Made me
nice. How many times do you just want someone to be like, hey, I see all you're doing?
Yes.
Like, that's very,
That's all
very-
we want.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I know. I appreciated it.
All right. Done with the heavy stuff.
I know.
I think
Let's
this
get
is-
into some pop culture.
I know.
Oh my God.
I think this was one of my favorite
Conversations
we've
Me
ever
too.
had.
This was a good one.
Let's talk pop culture. I put a few things on here, but you take the lead.
I want to start with Gypsy Rose because, okay,
My queen.
can I go back a little bit to Gypsy Rose coming out of the Slammer? And Gypsy Rose having like in her influencer era, like getting the makeup done, going on Good Morning America, this, that, or the other. She has the husband, Ryan, I think his name was. I was so concerned.
You are.
I was like, this is making me nervous. And I have to say, in a weird way, I feel like I still have concerns, like, but I feel like she's just living. And it's like kind of like, I'm like, okay, I feel concerned, but like with an asterisk of like, I'm also just really happy for you. Like, you need to make some wrong decisions.
I feel, you know me with my gut intuitions
Yes.
on people. Like, I get vibes. I don't look at Gypsy Rose and think like murderer, awful person. Like, that's
Correct.
not the vibes I
Agreed.
get. The vibes I get is like abused
Suppressed.
child, did a lot of self-reflection, really trying to figure things out.
Yes.
I am so hardcore rooting for her. Like,
Same.
I feel like there's a lot of really good in her just from listening to her speak. She is so articulate and she seems really intelligent and she's had the shittiest life. And I like am all about it. Like, go off and get that rhinoplasty.
Yes.
Like, go date and mess up and make mistakes because you've never had the opportunity.
Because you've never done that.
Like, I love that she deleted social media. I think it's so iconic. Like, I am on board for this journey. Like, I really
agree.
love it.
No, I agree. It was an interesting like point of self-reflection for me because I was so worried and I was like, I actually think she's just living.
Okay. Yeah.
And
she's
it's
living and
really
learning
good.
and making mistakes.
Yes. Like, and this is because I think she's been stunted and she's been so emotionally suppressed. Like, we are just watching her grow up.
Cheech is back. I wonder
Chai.
how long she's been here. And we just heard her bark.
But yeah, I mean, the matching wolf tattoos with the axe and them saying they're just friends. But did you also hear she has a camera crew following her around?
The Lifetime show's gonna continue.
So this is a part of it.
So Lifetime DM'd me, like the account on Instagram,
Ex-Squeeze?
and they were like,
Tea.
"Sis, come to the what event? They're doing an event for the Return of Dance Moms, like the reunion in New York, but I'm not going to be home, so I'm not going to be there that day. I go in the next day." And they were like, "Come to the Dance Moms thing," and I was like, "I can't." I'm like, "But GRB, let me
I'm
know.
here.
I will. Anything you do for her, I will be there." And they were like, "Wink, okay, like we might." And I'm like, lifetime.
Something's coming.
I need to interview Gypsy. Like,
my
it's
gosh.
my dream. It is my
Say it
dream.
out loud. Say it out loud.
I literally said to them, I will interview Gypsy. Look, I just did Love Is Blind. Like, put me in front of her. Like, I want to talk to her.
And you're gonna.
And even if it's in LA and I'm in New York, I will fly to LA to interview her. Like, I don't care.
You'll have a place to stay.
I'm like, I need to talk to her.
I love this. I'm so excited.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I'll put that out there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, tell me about Christine Quinn. Her after all of this, the domestic violence call, her husband is the one that filed for divorce. Okay, explain this to me.
So she, take everything I say with a grain of salt because I get some details wrong, but there was a dispute at their household allegedly where from her reenactment of the encounter was they had a dispute. He threw a bag at her. The bag had glass in it. And
didn't he throw something at the child first?
Well, so the paramedics came. They didn't take the child because whatever.
She was there, I guess.
Then Christine took the child to the hospital a few hours later and was like, oh, something hit the child. So Christine's story is he got aggressive. He threw something. He hit the child with it. He came back out swinging, being like, not only did I not hit the child, the bag did not have glass in it. I got angry and like just threw something down. I didn't throw it at her. I did. And he was like, this is like a long thing of her trying to manipulate like the story to put me in a bad light so she could like take custody or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was
Get
his
her
side
bag.
of the story.
That was her exit strategy, speaking of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so that's what
he's claiming.
Said. Then he ends up getting a restraining order against her and filing for divorce. I think.
Because isn't there a thing? There's a thing where it's like when you are about to embark on a legal battle, it is really important to be the person who filed.
Yes. And usually I think there's a statistic that like 80% of divorces, women file first. Isn't that really interesting?
That's crazy.
Like men will never file first. It's really rare. So just because I think women are like the stronger ones that finally like do it. But what I think is so interesting is I'm always really inclined to believe a woman, especially in like a domestic
violence situation.
In any situation. Like I want to believe the women. I want to take their side because I'd like to think if I was in that position, like people would believe me. I think it's really important. I want to like say this lightly because truth is like we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. That said, like it does play on my mind a little bit that Christine's like old coworkers on Selling Sunset like really said that she manipulated storylines and made things up and like was like a crazy like manipulator of stories and would reenact like she would remember
her
things.
Perception is her reality going back to it. Yeah.
And so part of me can't help but wonder like if this guy isn't the thing she's saying he is, like he's in a real shit situation because like how are you supposed to argue that?
Yeah.
So I don't know what to believe or who to believe. I am inclined to believe her, but I can't help but wonder if there's more to the story.
I definitely think, what is the saying? It's your side, my side, and the truth.
Yes.
Like,
I'm sure it's both.
It's both. Yeah. Because I don't know these people. I don't know them either. But I hear what you're saying. Like when somebody shows us and other people speak to a history of this type of behavior, you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. But then like also in a domestic violence situation, it's like, I'm going to take her side.
100%. Because like,
especially with a child involved.
I wish there was like cameras in the house. You know?
I know. Carl Radke, get those cameras back up.
Like because that would just so help her case. But,
I know.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder because with him filing all these things, it's like, is it the case of just like a powerful man trying to shut everything down?
Exactly. And he is in the position of power. She knew who she was marrying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, or could you say the argument of like, she knew who she was marrying, and to my point, like this is her exit strategy and she's trying to get out of it, but get as much as she can along the way.
Yeah. The truth is we'll never know.
Yeah.
We will never know because they
Or-
both will probably go down swinging on their heels.
But
like,
this is the thing that's like interesting with these sort of like middle of the road reality stars is like, it's oftentimes these type of people, and I'm stereotyping, that like they will air all of that dirty laundry, you know?
yeah, that is true.
So we'll see.
That is true.
Tell me about Angelina and Brad. Miraval, my favorite rosé.
Yeah. So do you know they own it?
I do, but I thought this dispute was done.
So basically, like, there's more coming out. So there's a rosé
gosh.
brand, Miraval, which is really, really great. It's like, it's so weird because it's like a George Clooney Casamigos situation where
Yes.
it's like they're co-owners, but like it's not super forward facing. It's not like
They're
Kendall
not the
Jenner
face of
with
the brand.
818.
Yeah, but it is this vineyard from, I think it's Provence in
Yeah.
France.
It
And
is.
it's an amazing
It's a great rosé. And so basically, they've been fighting over the vineyard because
Right.
it's like they don't want to give it to each other. And remember, there was that plane incident a few years ago where Brad allegedly
Was intoxicated
and like assaulted the children or
verbally
whatever.
assaulting. Yeah.
Well, now Angelina's saying like it wasn't just that one time. That was the one time with the kids, but he's been
There's a history or
a history
a
of him,
pattern.
yes, doing this to me. So like now they're in this big dispute over the land and the settling it, and it's kind of just resurfacing.
Oh gosh.
But see, another case where I believe her.
I believe her too.
Like,
and I
100%.
This is a thing. When this was all coming out, I had such a fascination with this situation. A, because I love Miraval. Like I'm obsessed with that wine.
It's great.
Can't drink a lot of rosés. But I was like, I found it fascinating because I was like, Brad Pitt just transcends cancel culture. Like nobody cared.
I'm interested in
People
it.
just carried on. I remember it was like COVID times. He was doing the reading with Jen Aniston. And remember, she was like, hey, he's like, hey, Jen. She's like, hey, Brad. Like, nobody cared.
Do you know that's how I feel
Any
too?
of these allegations.
Because when I was
about
writing
any
this
of it.
down, I was like, look at Chris Brown. Like, we will never forgive him.
Never.
Like, I see people going to his concerts and I'm like, you actual idiots. Like, you
Yeah.
look so stupid.
Yeah.
With Brad Pitt, it's like, why is everyone just turning a blind eye? Like, he assaulted his children and his wife.
It's like as a collective, people just decided they don't care
Why? 'Cause
about
he's
holding
white
him
and
accountable
hot? Is
for his
that,
actions.
Like, because he's a white man.
I think because he is a pretty white man with a long-standing history of popularity that his fan base has been for decades, and they just don't care.
Because like when I was writing this down, that's what I had in mind too. I was like, why does no one care? This is weird.
Yes.
This is really weird.
I genuinely, like, coming back to the psychology of all of it, it's like there are so many situations where it's like, I want a psychologist to sit and talk pop culture with me.
Yes.
And walk me through, like, parasocial relationships and how they impact some people and how they impact others. Because it is so, like, even this dispute, I didn't even hear about it. They're barely talking about it in the media. Like, I didn't see this on TMZ.
No, it's crazy.
And it's like, what is it about Brad Pitt that people are just like, meh, anyway.
I think because he has such, like you said, so many years of a positive relationship, relationships with people. But this is the thing. You could be a good person that does bad things,
Yes.
or you could be like a good person that's good 80% of the time, but then 20 of the
You
percent
make
of the time
mistakes.
you like, or you have alcoholism. I think in his case, he might have substance issues where like maybe those incidents happen when he's under the influence. You don't know. So it's like, you could still, like, when you're sober, be a great person and then be drunk and be a demon. Like, and I'm sure all these people that are working with him professionally know him only sober. I'm just assuming, this is alleged. But my point is, like, you can't go off of a good interaction with someone and be like, oh, but they wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
It's like, no, but you don't know them
some
behind
people
closed doors.
do, I guess. Do that.
People are complex. People have different, you could still be good sometimes and bad others.
Oh my God. Yes. And I think that's definitely the case here.
It's crazy. I don't know why. It's
And
like
I
not
also
a
am
thing.
so curious, like, why are they, like, it's so crazy that of all the disputes, it's like they're fighting over this vineyard. Like, what is, I know it's great, rosé.
Because I think it's probably
so profitable.
I think it's one of the most popular rosés in the world. It is.
There's like that Whispering Angel.
Yes. It's like
That's all I know.
It's one. No, it is though. It's like those are the two that
Those
are
are the
key.
two.
Like, I think it's very, 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 very lucrative, and I'm sure it also might be like a passion project as well, where
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not giving this to you.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
So that's that.
I know.
But
the last thing I want to say, though, just I saw this and I don't have a ton of details because there aren't a ton of details, but they're doing a Legally Blonde spinoff, and the producers of Gossip Girl are producing it. And I think that's going to be so sexy and good. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Need a show like that in my life.
I'm so sad.
Look, where are my girly shows? Like, I've been waiting for something like that.
Okay, did you ever watch this show? The show that's on Apple TV. Do you have Apple TV?
No, but I need to watch. Yeah, well, I think.
Oh my God, I gotta find it for you. What is the name of it?
Because I need like a girly,
one
good,
season.
feel-good show.
I'm waiting for it to come back. You gotta watch it. And it's like a period piece, but it's not actually. Like, it's not. It's like kind of like Bridgerton meets Gossip Girl.
Oh, I gotta watch this. That's what I need. I've been craving something.
Hang on. I have to Google it. I need to tell you this before the podcast is over.
No, I've just been feeling like I am missing a show in my life. I have a void.
The Buccaneers.
Oh, I've never heard anyone talk about this.
The Buccaneers on Apple TV. There's one season. It's so good.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
You need to watch it.
I miss those shows. Like, I want like One Tree Hill, Vampire Diaries. Like,
oh wait, it's not the Buccaneers. Oh yes, it is. Sorry.
Okay, the Buccaneers. I've never even heard someone talk about this.
You will love.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it this week. I'm gonna download it.
I'm gonna
for my
text
plane
it
ride
to you right
Hawaii.
now. Yes, perfect. Done.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, thanks for chatting with us. We're ending at 11:11, which is good luck. Yay! It's
we will
gonna be
see
a
you
good week.
next Tuesday.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.